Hi, welcome back to Master Recaps. Today I will show you a horror film from 2011 titled Vile. It tells the story of four best friends Nick, Tony, Kai and Taylor who spend their weekends on vacation before returning to their boring jobs. On the way back, Nick parked the car to refuel and a strange woman came to him for help, which she asked for the four of them to travel to the city in front of Nick, who had a better heart than his friend, so he agreed. She came in the car in the midst of everyone's dissatisfaction who saw that it was inappropriate for a stranger to accompany them in their car. At this time, the stranger asked to leave them both. Four people, she has a small gift to give to them as well. A few seconds later, she appeared with a gas mask and an anesthetic smoke bomb in her hands. Upon regaining consciousness, everyone must find themselves trapped in a house sealed off by there was a string of strings coming out of everyone's heads and five other people were standing and chatting about something. They could hear what it was all about. Kai suddenly screamed out in pain, extreme because she was yanked off her fingernails. What the hell did the five of them do to them? Tony, seeing his girlfriend being attacked, rushed out to attack the person who attacked her before he was forbidden because the five had a reason for doing it. They pointed to a video playing in the room with a young woman explaining what was going to happen next. She explained that the nine of them were equipped with an extraction tool that was connected to all of the brain axis and that the substance could only be extracted from the pain they suffered. They all had 22 hours left to torture themselves using all the equipment in the house. Once the bottle was full of extract, the door would be opened and they would come home alive. At the end of the announcement, the clock immediately began to count down. Some people did not believe and tried to pull the hose out of their heads, the result of which he died instantly, so the rest of them knew that this was true. He had to torture himself until the bottle was full or everyone would surely die here. One young woman suggested why we all have to torture ourselves when this group is made up of so many men. Why don't they sacrifice themselves for the weaker women that Greg, one of the claw-tugging vocals. Leaving Kai's finger, he said that at his house there were still children and his beloved wife waiting. If he had to torture all the women inside to survive, he would do so without hesitation. Nick then suggested that if we all torture each other a little bit, the game will only end when we get a full bottle of extract at 100%, right? If we split the 14% each, everyone would suffer a lot of injuries and be able to survive the whole game. It didn't specify who we had to kill, this just gave us a bottle of extract and Greg was willing to sacrifice himself. He was the first person in the group to torture him. Greg had been tortured with various methods for hours, but he still managed to extract only 7%, which made everyone understand that torture was ordinary inability to induce physical pain to the extreme. They had to resort to more drastic methods like stabbing a sharp point across Greg's body, which worked, but Greg was seriously injured and everyone saw what happened to Greg. People were scared and no one wanted to be the next to be tortured, so they decided to vote for a game of claws. The person with the lowest number was to be the next to be tortured by that person. Well, Sam is a long-haired guy who always jokes. Even though he looks a bit too rickety, Sam has the courage to let everyone torture him next. Sam had a hot iron swept across his body and nearly every inch of his fingernails had been stripped. He managed to shed a fair amount of that extract before the next one was summoned. Nick is the third in this perverted game. They don't have much time left to survive where Nick has all of his fingernails removed and perforated all over his body. I couldn't take it, but only a little extract came out. Next was Lisa, the most frightened woman of the group, whom she fled to hide in a room before being dragged and tortured, now without mercy, separating a woman or a man or protecting a man. What's weaker than everyone looking at the same thing is that I must survive here, even if someone here has to die, they won't care. Next up was Taylor after she had first aided her tortured boyfriend Nick. Taylor confessed to Nick that she was pregnant with him and asked for mercy from everyone not to torture her. But they refused until Nick volunteered for his girlfriend to be tortured over and over again, to which everyone was very surprised. These were the only ones who couldn't extract the substance according to the agreed percentage. Taylor confessed to having secretly fed Nick a drug before he was tortured, which helped him relax and ease the pain. To himself, with Greg proposing that he should get it because he was already tortured on his part. The pill would ease his pain, but shockingly, everyone tried to not give Greg the potion because they've made some kind of deal. The unbearable Nick told Greg everything, that he was the chosen one to be tortured in order for everyone to survive. This continued until the extract was full, after which Nick gave it to Greg and ruined everyone's plans. With less and less time, they had to take their pain to the next level by scalding their hands into the pot of boiling water over and over again. Inflated with heat, but what everyone didn't expect happened when Tara leapt up and attacked them inadvertently in order to extract the others and not to be tortured instead. She slashed Kai's neck with a knife, causing her to bleed non-stop, and later died. Tara has been captured and everyone has made a pact to torture her alone until the game is over. Tony hit Tara's mouth with a wrench until her teeth fell on the floor to avenge his girlfriend, then used the peeler to rain hard on her skin. Tara had to scream in such pain that it almost suffocated. Tony later used a thinner to pour over her wound, and they succeeded until less than 20% left. The game was over. Now that Tara is unconscious and they can no longer exert her extract, Nick tells him that when he was a child he had broken a bone once, swear it was the most painful. In his entire life, everyone volunteered to have Tony break a few percent of their bones, and only then would everyone be able to escape the house. With 100% extraction, a loud voice announced that they had all accomplished this and that by agreement, everyone would be freed in return for their return home. Nick and Taylor were the last people to step out of the house as they helped support Greg, who was seriously injured and unable to walk, but suddenly the door to the house was closed again and the two were separated from him. Together, what the hell is this game over? Nick outside ran after the others until he found that everyone had been killed. Sam, the long-haired boy, kills everyone and runs away. He was one of the team that caught everyone in the first experiment, and he was the one who made everything seem even more serious by sacrificing himself. Being the first to be tortured, everything this man had planned that was planned in the first place. When people got hurt, terror and nervous breakdowns started in the house and everyone wouldn't stop. Until you achieve your own goals, Nick, who later takes a hit on Sam, who accidentally kills him, then attempts to go back and save his girlfriend Taylor, who was trapped inside the house, but the door won't open again until he has 100 extracts percent again, which he tortured herself to the point of suffocation. Nick was the only survivor who managed to get out of that house. Days later, he returned to the same route they had driven past and met the girl who hit him that day, which Nick had captured. She came and started his revenge plan and ended the movie. Subscribe for more video like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.